Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's excellent to have you here as always, and thank you for watching. Now today we're actually going to be taking a little bit of a break from the go fast shoot stuff content that you're used to seeing here on the channel to talk about this guy. This is a flashlight that I have been spending about the last month on, and this thing is super powerful. This is the Powertac E9R. And this thing is pretty interesting in that it has a variety of features packed into it without being overly complex. But the big one is it'll put out 2,500 lumens. In the lead up to this project, I've had multiple conversations with personnel at Powertac. Some of those we'll get to towards the end of the video because we have an issue or two that we need to discuss, so stick tuned for that. But the conversation that I thought was most pertinent was we were discussing the rate at which they integrate new tech into their products. So for instance, right now they're completely redesigning their switches because they didn't think that they were up to the market standard, and good on them for reviewing what's going on and then pushing to the next gen of stuff. This thing says G4 on the side of it, and I'm assuming that stands for Generation 4 because this thing was recently updated, and they were very, very transparent about this. These things are made in China. Before we get all up in arms about that, I'm no fan of the Chinese whatsoever, but there are multiple grades of Chinesium. We have those lights that everybody pushes during holiday and sale months. And then we have products like this that are the pinnacle of technology. This thing is manufactured in China. So there are some good products that can come out of that part of the world. You have to make the decision on what constitutes quality and what does not. Anyway, on to the light. And don't forget to check the description box down below for information on a discount from Powertac. So let's go with controls. The on button is at the rear of the tail cap and has both momentary and click-through constant on functions. The mode is selected by first turning the light on and then pressing the side button one click per mode. There are 5 main modes: Firefly, low, medium, high, and turbo, plus a strobe function that lands in the gap between medium and the high functions. Strobe mode is achieved by holding down the selector switch. So if you need a disorienting strobe light right quick and in a hurry, you don't have to worry about cycling through the modes, and you also don't have to concern yourself with accidentally activating it by cycling modes too fast. The lowest power mode, Firefly, puts out less than a single lumen. And the showstopper mode, Turbo, has a max output of 2550 lumens. Of course, the runtimes vary depending on the mode selected. As far as testing is concerned, I was focused on the Turbo mode because that is what all the hype is about with this light. Powertac claims that it has a runtime of a little over 2 hours at full burn. Propped it up in the corner of my desk, and yeah, it was pretty much spot on. As you can see, the other modes have longer run times as expected, and there are some that say that there is a lost E9R in the middle of a woods somewhere running to this day. All this is all well and good, but what do those numbers actually translate to in the real world? I thought of 3 ways to document this. The first way was as a signal. We shined each mode uprange 800 yards away to see what it looked like from the downrange perspective. Low, medium, high, turbo. That is a truck at about 800 yards. For the second test, I set up a series of reflectors at a uniform distance of 10 yards apart, out to 110 yards. Basically, the low mode will get you all the way out to 100 yards. Oh, dude, I can get the 100 on that. Well, that's that. We're gonna have to move back. Each mode above the low mode gives you varying degrees of resolution out to 250 yards. The last test I wanted to do was a view from behind the light. Here's a woods 75 yards away. Low, medium, high, turbo. As expected, Firefly was not detectable, but we were able to turn the opposite direction and read this door at about 7 yards. The ER9 comes with a rechargeable 18650 3200 milliamp hour lithium ion battery. It takes about 4 hours to charge from completely dead. Included is one of those magnetic cables that self-homes, mating up with the complementary module on the side of the light body. There's also a micro USB port under the magnetic module if you feel so inclined. When charging, the integrated indicator illuminates red, and when fully charged, it indicates blue. That red indicator will also come on and stay on after the battery percentage drops below 10%. That way you don't end up surprised with a dead battery, because generally speaking, you find out that you have a dead battery in your flashlight when you go to use it. Alternatively, two CR123s can be used to power the unit in the absence of the rechargeable battery. Along those same lines, the pocket clip is removable, along with the ring for the included lanyard. It also comes with a dedicated belt holster if you're into that sort of thing. The light is certified for IPX8, which means that it's good for deeper than 1 meter of submersion, and the manufacturer specifies what that waterproof depth is. I didn't see this listed on the website, so I went in and tested it in a pool.
Just keep swimming.
Yeah, I can see it at the bottom. Are you staying with your feet flat on the... And how tall are you?
6.
6, okay. A meter and some change?
I'm 6 feet.
Did you just pick it up off the bottom of the pool, even though we're conducting a water test?
Well, yeah. Oh,
That wasn't mine.
that was gay.
The ER9 achieves this by basically sealing each junction with its own personal O-ring. Well, in typical fashion, this is where we encountered our first issue with the light. Don't hit any children. Basically, I left the ER9 with the guys when I went inside to check on a child and decided to get a little heavy into the margaritas. Along that same thought pattern, they decided to play catch with the light in the pool. One of them missed their throw and the ER9 smashed bezel first into the concrete. It then, of course, fell into the pool. Part of the waterproofing system is the glass front. With that broken, the light filled with water and toasted. I informed Powertac and they sent me a replacement unit. And in my opinion, if they wanted to improve that design, I would suggest a second pane of glass closer to the emitter that waterproofs the unit so that when the front glass breaks, it doesn't lose waterproofness. It is, after all, equipped with a strike bezel.
So we are yeeting the light back and forth and playing catch with it as it goes to the depths of Davy Jones' locker. And somebody yeeted it a little too hard and it hit the edge of the pool. And
I have one important thing to ask. Did you perforate the pool liner?
No.
Okay. Well, this is fine.
It is no more. It has ceased to be.
Anyway, glass is glass. It can break. Back to the testing.
You guys. No. Don't blame me for this.
As you can guess, the unit puts out some heat with all that light. I wanted to see if that could possibly be an asset, so I put the light in my freezer on turbo mode. Cheesecake, Jimmy Dean sausage, half a thing of bacon, various other things, and turbo mode. 1 hour in. Still on. Should be right on time. And, yep, she's dead, Jim. The only other issue I experienced was with the second light. It was definitely a previously used demo unit, and periodically it would fail to go into turbo mode.
No, we can't reproduce it, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4. Light the boy.
After talking with Powertac, if there is too much lube applied to the threads on the body, it can leak into the unit and cause the switch to malfunction. I took it apart and cleaned it, and the problem resolved itself. So, if you experience this, take it apart and clean it. And now I think would be a perfect opportunity to segue into customer service. While these lights are manufactured overseas, Powertac themselves are based here in the United States, specifically in North Carolina. And from speaking to the team, it seems to me that they have very little tolerance for quality issues. Their customer service people that you talk to are going to be the same people that I talked to when I had the issues that we demonstrated in this video. I literally used Instagram DMs. Nobody checks Instagram DMs, apparently, except for Powertac. Anyway, we've all dealt with foreign customer service in the past on a variety of things. I'm convinced that Steve was born Steve. Hi, me name Wendy. Doubt. So if you do have a problem, their lifetime warranty is probably going to cover you as long as you're not doing stupid stuff like we did in today's video. So in closing, how does this thing fit? I am a proponent of everybody carrying 2 lights. They should be equivalent in quality. However, the distinctions are as follows. The first light should be an emergency life-saving piece of equipment. It should never be used under any circumstances ever, except for extreme emergency. 2 is 1, 1 is none. The second one should be your everyday, everything workhorse light. That duty light that you're using for everyday, everything that you can possibly think of, in my opinion, should be a rechargeable light. Because if we're talking about a light that is sufficient for everyday purposes, it should be a high output light, and that high output light is going to eat up a bunch of batteries. You're going to spend hundreds of dollars every year on batteries for that light. If it's a rechargeable light, then you'll circumvent that cost. That's my philosophy on that sort of stuff. As far as this light is concerned, I think it is versatile enough to provide coverage in both categories. Now, if you enjoyed today's video or found it interesting and informative, please sound off in the comment section down below. If you're shy and you don't want to comment, I understand. That's fine. Not a big deal. Hit those like and share buttons down below, and if you feel so inclined, please consider supporting the VSO Gun Channel on Patreon and Subscribestar, and you should see some people that are doing that on screen right now. And don't forget to check the description box down below for information on a discount from Powertac.